has not consistently maintained its claim that the parallel of latitude constitutes a single maritime boundary with Somalia. Kenya's claim was contradicted by its Territorial Waters Act of 1972, which remained in force in 1979, its 1989 Maritime Zones Act, and its 2009 submission to the CLCS. Under these circumstances, it was reasonable for Somalia to understand that its maritime boundary with Kenya in the territorial sea, in the exclusive economic zone, and on the continental shelf would be established by agreement to be negotiated and concluded in the future.
Let's go to Nairobi and speak to Patrick Gathara, the curator-in-chief of the website The Elephant. Patrick, thanks for your time. How big a blow is this for Kenya?
Well, I think it's going to be a bit frustrating for many Kenyans, although it was expected, given that Kenya had already withdrawn from the case, I think, way back in March, and was not, and just the other day announced that it does not recognize the compulsory authority of the court. So I think it is a blow. It does legitimize to a very large extent Somalia's claims, but I think for many Kenyans, they're going to see this as very disappointing.
Just expand on this statement that came from Kenya last week when it said it wouldn't recognize the court's judgment. It said that the judgment would have, here's the quote, profound security, political, social, and economic ramifications in the region and beyond. Does it really mean in the region and beyond? Does it mean, or does it mean that Kenya, we will suffer?
Well, part of Kenya's argument has been that if Somalia's claims were granted, then it would have a knock-on effect that Kenya would have to renegotiate its border with Tanzania and Tanzania with Mozambique and so forth going further south. I'm not sure that this is actually true in a sense. And in any case, the judgment that was given, the judges pretty much split the baby. They leaned towards Somalia's claims, but still accommodated to a large extent, or to some extent, Kenya's interests, so that Kenya didn't just lose everything. And also Somalia wasn't given any reparations, and such it can't really claim any money of Kenya. I think this is much more about the oil resources that are expected to be within this triangle that they're fighting over, much more than it is about any threats to any regional peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if there is any oil and gas there and it is discovered, it'll be some years before that benefit is felt. But what about right now and the effect on people's daily lives, especially, for example, fishermen? How will it affect people who live along the coast, do you think?
Well, I don't think it's going to have much effect. If you look at the judgment that the court read out of the areas that were claimed by Kenya's fishing grounds, 17 of the 19 were already within Kenyan space, even under the what Somalia had suggested. So it wasn't really going to hit fishermen as much as the Kenya government would like to suggest. And I think that was the problem, is Kenya was really hyping up its case. And we have to remember that Kenya has not really taken this negotiation and this border dispute seriously. We could have avoided going to the ICJ by taking on a good faith negotiation with Somalia. Instead, our government opted to take on a more bullying stance, to not really take Somalia seriously, to consider them more of a failed state. And I think they were really surprised, and they have been surprised by how quickly this has escalated once it got to the court. And I believe that now, although Kenya said that they're not going to recognize it, this might form now the basis of a more serious negotiation, more serious discussion phase going forward. Because even if Kenya tries to kind of enforce its claim by force of arms, they really can't do it. We don't have the Navy to do it. And we've seen the problems that might come up with piracy, etc., if we end up with a neighbor that's not too happy with how we are conducting ourselves.
Patrick Gathara from The Elephant, thank you so much for your time, Patrick. Take care.
You're welcome.